Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome to our past life reading. Um, I was torn between doing our twin flame reading for March or a past life reading. And then I thought to myself, well, it makes sense that we go back first and then we'll do our twin flame reading. So I want to see like the connection to you and love in your past life. Doesn't have to be about love, by the way. It can be about whatever it wants it to be about. But I did bring out the romance angels just in case. So, anyways, this is for past life. This is really for all signs. Definitely, you want to trust your intuition when you watch these kind of readings. And, if you have a hard time with that, then certainly feel free to ask your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation. The way I look at my readings are they're an energy exchange, soul to soul. So hopefully you feel it within your soul. And that means goosebumps, butterflies, um, something may shock you, like, oh my God. So whatever it may be, we are gonna get into it. So I invite my spirit guides in to connect with your guides of the light to bring us the clearest messages possible. We want to go back to a past life, see how it is reflecting in this lifetime. And I thank you ahead of time. Amen. All right, guys. So, um, we have our past life tarot. It's actually an oracle deck. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. So this deck is going to be for your past life. This is going to be current, okay? Current going into the future. And again, I brought out the romance angels in case love comes into the picture. It's something I never do in a past life reading, but something told me to pull them out. So I think we're going to start. Well, I don't think we are going to start with our major arcanas. I use these really for bullet points. And honestly, I wasn't even going to use them, but something told me, pull them out, pull them out. So we're going to use them. So let's go ahead and make ourselves some room. We'll be using those second, those first, well, these first. So all signs, past life, doesn't have to be the past life. But what I'm really looking for is anything that has anything or anyone who has followed you and you them into this lifetime. It's interesting. It's reminding me of Gemini's reading because literally that was the title. Someone followed you into this lifetime. So some of you may be Gemini, and if you are, you might want to check out that reading. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. Oh, let me bring the lid down. All right, we have the moon. So we just had the full moon in Leo, and March the full moon, which is also going to be a total lunar eclipse moon in the sign of Virgo. Um, this could certainly have something, and then I think of the moon as feminine energy. So I feel like we're picking up on some feminine energy, male or female, by the way. The moon is the card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer, but I don't really read these as people. I read it more as the energy. So something with the full moon. Now, the full moon or the moon can really talk about uncertainties. because we can only see as far as the moonlight allows us to see. But with a full moon, we can see a lot further. And the moon to me is also very dreamy type energy. Some of you might have been connecting, like through your dreams. I get this feeling like all of a sudden I'm seeing this vision of having a dream and there's someone in my dream, but I don't see their face. It's interesting because before Sam and I came together, I had had some dreams about him and I never saw his face, but I knew it was him. And then the last dream I had, it was like 6 months later where he actually reached out and we reconnected. So, anyways, we have the Hermit. Interesting, I was just talking about the full moon in Virgo, and this is Virgo's major arcana. This is about your spirituality. Um, I get a feeling that some of you were healers in a past lifetime. And I feel like it's something you brought forward with you. It feels like a natural gift, to be honest. The Hermit can talk about solitude, but there's a reason why I go into that solitude energy. It's because I'm seeking spiritual wisdom, but to use on this physical plane. Also, I just want to remind you we're in the universal year 9. We're in the year of the Hermit. And you know what I love about this image is this is someone who has emerged from, let's just say, dark night of the soul, something that may have taken me to my knees, causing me to seek the light. And then what I figure out as I'm in that energy is, I am the light. I am the light. And I even love how this hermit is holding this snake in his hands. Normally, you'll see the hermit, speaking of light, illuminating this coiled snake at his feet or her feet. But here, it's like I've become friends with that. And I feel like that can definitely represent your shadow self, like the balance of the shadow and the light, knowing oneself completely. We also have opposite signs here. Interesting. Pisces and Virgo are opposites. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out. I kind of want to see what the hermit is shining his light on. I'm saying him, but again, him or her. On the Emperor. The Emperor. Card of Aries. Interesting how the Emperor's looking right back at the Hermit. And to me, the Emperor is someone that we can look up to. You know, healer, yes. Leader of the people, yes. But leads, he's looking right back. And it feels like I lead through my wisdom, the wisdom of my experiences. Some of you, I feel like you held a very important role in a past life, or someone you were with held this important role. And I don't feel like I'm a dictator. I feel quite the opposite. I lead through compassion and empathy. All right, well, let's see what else we have. Judgment, your spiritual team. And then look at this. Look at this, the Empress. Well, I have to tell you, when I do a twin flame reading, one of the things that I look for doesn't have to come out, but one of the things that just like lets me know with zero doubt, that we're on the right path is when I see the Empress and the Empress. And how interesting that Judgment, which is your spiritual theme, is what's connecting the two. Now, Judgment does speak about the present moment. So, because there's about to be a rebirth, but Judgment reminds you that I'm going to guide you. This isn't something like where you just like take a chance. If you feel guided, then I do feel like you should take a chance. I find this very interesting. We have both the masculine and the feminine, the mother and the father, and their spiritual team connecting them together. I mean, was this meant to be? Wow, meant to be. And I also feel it's interesting because the emperor has his back to the empress right now, but he is looking over at the hermit. And I do feel like they're opposites, though they have the same goals in mind. I feel like ultimately they want to reach the same level, especially within their spirituality. The Empress is very creative, and I just get this feeling that there's some creative abilities that you have that you always will have. It's just who you are in a spiritual level. Some of you, I feel like, you know, I'm not sure if everyone understand this, but I'm getting this feeling of this may be our last time reincarnating on Earth. So judgment feels like I want to bring this together sooner versus later. Hmm. I just love the judgment is what's connecting spirituality, your whole spiritual team, your angels connecting the emperor and the empress together. It's kind of mind blowing, but in the best of ways. Okay, so let's keep all that in mind. And actually, I think what I want to do is slide these. Let's keep them in the reading. And let's go ahead and start with past life. Everything's pre-shuffled, by the way. I just like to give it a shuffle or two with you here. Okay. And I do want to let you know for anyone who's new, this is a type of reading that develops. You know what I mean? Like it takes time for it to really develop, for the storyline to develop. So you do need a little bit of patience. And if you just feel like, I don't have that type of patience, I don't have that as patient, um, then you may not want to watch because I really feel like you need to see the past life and the current life to really see the big picture of it all. Okay. Anyway, but you do whatever you want. I do feel though, I feel like your spirit guides are telling me, I don't know why I say I feel like your spirit guides, I feel like they're going to give you a reason. Like for those who don't have a lot of patience, I feel like something's going to show that's going to grab your attention. Okay, wisdom. Well, that's exactly what the emperor was looking for, was learning about wisdom, wise. Interesting how I also said that I feel like some, maybe not all, um, if you so choose, I feel like this may be again, your last time here on Earth. But that's because I feel that the majority really have extracted the wisdom, that the Earth is the reason why we're here on Earth. It's for our soul to evolve. It's kind of like the classroom. But there's playtime. I feel like there's someone who really loves horses or a horse. Interesting because now it could be a pet. I'm saying a horse because I'm seeing a horse, but what I'm feeling is there feels like a pet that has also reincarnated. So I feel like you either had a horse, maybe you rode this horse, that was your transportation. But I feel you would, well, it doesn't have to be a horse, but I feel like whatever animal you had that you love dearly, I do feel that. I feel that the animal also reincarnated into this lifetime. Some of you don't know that yet. Some of you may just out of the blue, like someone offers you pet. Like I can't take care of my dog anymore. Will you take care of him? Or, I found this cat and I don't know what to do with it. And then you take it and instantly it's like you feel that connection. Okay, so all that off of one card. All right, let's take them the way they came out. Scribe or writer. I have to say, we get this all the time. That makes sense. Because I feel like many of you are on this, you're becoming healers. I feel like you are natural healers, but you're like using it now. And this is the year where those gifts are really, those healing gifts are really going to be called into action. But this is saying that, you had those same gifts, which I already felt in a previous lifetime, scribe or writer. And how interesting it's coming directly from wisdom. Okay. Orphan. We get that a lot too. And then high priest or high priestess. That makes sense. Slide these over just a little bit. High priest or high priestess is mirroring wisdom. Someone has really gained so much wisdom in a past life. I feel like through this wisdom, you became the high priestess or the high priest. It's interesting because I feel like there's a real love for animals, but I also feel there's a real love for children. Now, maybe you were an orphan in a previous life. And what's interesting is every time I get orphan in a past life reading, scribe or writer is also in that reading, at least what I can remember. All right, well, let's keep going. I could see some of you, like in this lifetime, working like a 9 to 5 and not really being satisfied with that. I feel like there's something in your soul where you want to do something. You want to use your own creativity. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you do scribe. I feel like, and with the Emperor and the Empress connected here, they might both do um, similar things, like for a living. But I feel this love, again, of animals and children. I feel for both. And I don't feel like you lost that either. That makes sense. We have communal living. Hmm. You know, it's interesting because I see you. I see you. Um, Interesting because, with orphan, I feel like, okay, well, there's probably not a lot of money, right? I'm either in an orphanage or, maybe one of my family members took me in. But then communal living, I get a feeling that, I feel like this little girl and her wisdom, I feel like she was born with it. And I feel like she can't help but, well, care for others deeply. I feel like the orphan is the empress in this lifetime. And I also feel like in this communal living, I feel like it's you who I could see you like sitting at a table and doing, you know, um, like readings for people. I do feel that I feel like you were the smartest person in the room, definitely the most spiritual. And I'm not judging anybody else because I feel like this is what you're helping. Like you're helping them to have growth in their own life. Love life. How pretty that is. Right under scribe or writer. We're about to fall in love. I feel it. Probably with someone that I shared this space with. Karmic relationship. Hmm. Under orphan, next to love life. Food and hunger. Okay, well, food and hunger is mirroring communal living. That kind of makes sense, right? I'm gonna slide these up. It's interesting because this karmic relationship, let's just say this relationship, I feel that this is someone you met while you were living with a bunch of others. And again, I still feel you were the smartest one in the room. And I mean that more with your spirituality. But I feel like you're about to fall in love. So the orphan has grown up. She looks like she's in around her 20s. Some of you could have met someone around that age period. I definitely feel like there was struggle in this previous life, but I don't feel like it's anything that held me down, held me back. If anything, again, I feel this energy of just like I was saying with the emperor looking over at the hermit. I feel like it's all about spiritual growth, spiritual wisdom, and I feel like, and you wanting to help others to find, that comfort. imprisonment or slavery. Could be why someone became an orphan. Keep that right there. Trust and faith underneath that. I feel like this little girl, who I have to say is in our readings, in our past life readings all the time. Now, it doesn't have to mean it's the same little girl, but I feel like this little girl, again, um, it's interesting. I feel like she dealt with some, how do I say this? Like, I don't feel like her parents died. I feel like they did something wrong. I feel like they were separated, the mother and the father. So it feels like they were taken. And let's say that I'm saying they did something wrong, but it may not have been wrong at all. It might just have been wrong by other people's standards. This could certainly be something that you've inherited from your parents. This it feels like psychic abilities. So I feel like this girl, she grows up. I don't feel like she moves out of this communal living. And you can look at it and see it's like kind of ruins, right? But you got to do what you got to do. And I do feel like there's a lot of people there. I say a lot of people, but like maybe 20, 30 people who all live together. One of them you're going to fall in love with, or you already had a past life, so you've already fallen in love. But let's take it like we're there right now. So I feel like I'm going to fall in love with someone, and I feel like it really does change a lot. I definitely feel like it's the Emperor and the Empress. And I definitely feel like this followed you into this lifetime. I also get this feeling that, and I'm saying these things to give you clues of, is this me? Could it be me? Think about this lifetime compared to what I'm saying, because I feel like because you didn't have it easy in this previous life, at least your young life, let's say. I feel as time went on, I do feel like these two connected. I do feel like you fell in love. I do feel like you got married. And I feel both really care about helping others. That's very important to them. And it's because of their lack, what they didn't have. Some of it could have been food. Food could have been very scarce. But it's like, I'm living on my spirituality. What I was going to say is, I could see in this lifetime, I definitely feel that there's many who care deeply for animals, children, helping others, homelessness, hunger. I don't feel like you're someone who just like watches the news and says, ah, that sucks. That's terrible. No, I feel like you're someone who will get involved in some way, could be through volunteer work. But again, it's like it pulls at your heartstrings. You know, it's like you're really helping yourself, but in this lifetime. I hope that made sense. You know, the major thing in your previous life is really about your abilities, though. Like, that's really what's standing out to me is the abilities that you have, the wisdom that I don't feel you could have gained any other way except going through some of the experiences that you've gone through. Again, I feel like my young life was very hard. And I would say that the other person in this love, I feel the same for them. But I feel this connection. I feel like you take the room, like you stand before the room and you speak, and you have everyone's attention because they know that you know what you're talking about. I definitely feel like you're able to connect to above. You know what I mean? Like psychic abilities, like the Akashic records. And, let's say let's say you feel like, I kind of feel like I might be psychic. I would put that to a test because I feel you're right. I mean, in a way, we're all psychic. We all have that ability. It's just we got to get rid of all the cobwebs in between. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in the psychic tarot. And let's move this into the current life. And then we'll go back and clarify everything. Don't forget about the Emperor and the Empress and Judgment, connecting them. To me, to me, it's also a symbol that this is not something that is far off. Matter of fact, I feel like that's another reason why the Hermit is showing, because this is probably going to be the year. I'm saying probably, but I do feel for the majority. And again, it's not that you even have to be looking because Judgment, your spiritual team, will guide the two of you together. And how will I know? First of all, I feel like you'll feel something about this person that you probably haven't felt with anyone else. And I feel like you will take notice of their wisdom as they will you. I feel like a conversation that might be had would be talking about, like, how can we help? How can we help the world? I could see it like as we come together, us bringing our goals together. I don't know if I cut these, so I'm going to cut them just in case. Reason why I always cut them is I like to me, it's a symbol that I'm introducing the next deck into the reading so that it all flows. All right, so let's move into this lifetime and let's see the connection. Mental conflict, two swords. Look at this, wisdom. Wisdom, the very first card from your past life. Here it is again. So the wisdom has followed you. This is the Hierophant. It is the card of Taurus. But this is truly about your belief system, your faith, hope. It feels like this person has a good book in their hand, and maybe that's one way they help, like through scripture. We'll see why the Two of Swords, which is, you know, it's somewhat of a block. It's someone wearing, here it's called mental conflict, but I feel like it's someone who wears a blindfold because there may be something, that I don't want to face. But as I say that, I feel like it's more within the uncertainties. I feel like that's a little bit what the moon is talking about. Like, uncertainties make me a little nervous. Like, I'd prefer to know exactly where I'm going and who I'm going with. But unfortunately, that's not the way life works. I'm also noticing that five and that two, which is a seven, very spiritual number. By the way, not only is the wisdom of your past life followed you into this lifetime, but so has scribe and writer, and so has love. So at this moment, I feel like the two of swords, um, because it's next to a five, which asks for change gracefully, as graceful as possible. I feel like that's where the fear is coming from. So there may be something where you feel there needs to be a change. It could be your own energy. It could be your thoughts. You know what I mean? It could be your thoughts. And then look at this. Wow. This is perfect for this reading. The Six of Cups. Someone that I used to know. And I often feel I knew Miss Children as a child. 5 and 6, 11. That's something I look for in a twin flame relationship. Actually, I look for the Emperor and the Empress and um, the number 11. We have it all. I find it kind of beautiful that we have memories of love. Some of you don't have these memories, but I feel like the memories are available. And I feel like the reason why maybe, like I don't feel like we're meant to remember every lifetime because, think about that. Like this little girl definitely feels like she had been through hell, so to speak. And to carry that into this lifetime, you know, the understanding of it is good, but that's why we're born with amnesia. Sometimes it could just be too much. Also, I feel because this love feels special. I can't help it. I can't deny that. um, you remember how in the beginning I said I feel some may be having dreams, though that person may be faceless right now? That's your old love. That's your love of past life. And the Six of Cups is really dreamy, happy, it's treasured memories, but they may not surface until the two of you cross paths. But I feel like you won't be able to deny like that feeling of, well, let's say you don't know him in this lifetime. Though I do feel like often spirit will have us cross paths somewhere along the road. Um, and maybe activating our heart chakra. We don't know that. We're not sure why. Well, divine knows why. This also tells me that this love of a previous lifetime was good. It was very good. And what I mean by that is I feel like they truly, truly loved each other, but I feel like they understood each other, like to the T. Again, they may have taken different courses, to get ultimately to the same place. Okay, let's keep going. No wonder judgment is like, I need your attention here in the present moment, but it's being met by the Two of Swords. Do I feel like your spiritual team can still get through? I do. But it can still be a little scary. Look at this. Foundation and achievements. That, my friends, is the marriage card. Interesting how wisdom, we have one person looking back at this house, and it does look like he's got the Bible in his hand. Now, it doesn't have to, mean that, let's just say he's got the Bible in his hand. But anyway, what I'm noticing is how he's looking at that house. It's almost like he's going about his day. He sees his home. He's like, something about that house. He doesn't know what. There's just something. And then if you look at the Four of Wands, now we have a whole family together. We have the mother, the father, the mother, the father, and a child. Could it be that orphan? It's interesting because this really speaks highly of love, but there's still fear. And that just to me means that there could be something that wasn't cleared from a previous relationship. Um, and then I just get this feeling that, again, you're going to come across to each other in like the most unexpected of ways. Again, I'm really noticing how this person, and I've never said this with this card before, but I feel like I'm looking at this home and there's something about it. Well, I feel like you're in that home or the other way around. But I feel like what this is saying is, can there be a true connection here? Is this true love? Well, I don't feel like the marriage card would come out otherwise. We don't have to get married, but it's definitely a lifelong commitment. I love the rainbows behind it. I love the little girl connected. Well, it's actually a little boy, but it could talk about even a blended family or maybe someone you're starting a family with. Hmm. Recognition and reward. Recognition, number one, because I feel that. This person is very humbled. This is the Three of Pentacles. And I have to tell you, I love the Three of Pentacles. If this is relating to love, I love the Three of Pentacles, period. Because it's about your creativity. And this is you being rewarded, recognized for what you bring to the table. And I do feel like it's your spiritual gifts. But what I love about the Three of Pentacles, as it relates to love is this really is a representation of your individuality, being proud of who you are. But I feel like in the Three of Pentacles, often someone is admiring someone else. They're admiring what they do, how they do it. Do they speak the words? Not in this energy, they don't. Some of you could certainly, I don't know, I feel like it could even tie back to, well, again, I feel you do similar things, but in different ways. But both are right. Neither is wrong. And what else I love about the Three of Pentacles is there's no need for me to wear any types of mask. This is about someone who will love me for exactly who I am. You know, it doesn't mean there's no there's no issues that I would need to work on or what have you. But to me, it is like, I love you for who you are. You know, this is someone who I feel like can see your soul, feel your soul, and you them, by the way. Hmm. Nine of Swords, suffering in silence. It's a lot of worry. However, the meaning of that card is unnecessary worry. With mental conflict and the Nine of Swords, I feel like it would be very hard. Let's say that you channel. Maybe you don't know that you can do this yet. But I feel like if my mind is clouded, it'd be very hard for me to receive these downloads. But this is about unnecessary worry. And I know it's also the worries over the love life. Like, you can tell me, Sandy, someone special's coming in, but how do I really know that? I feel like you'll feel it. And again, certainly ask your guides. Like, is this for me? The sun, the masculine, the illuminator. And it illuminates everything. The good. And there's a lot of good happening. The bad. I feel like that has more to do with like my thoughts. But it's illuminating that. I love when the sun shows because you don't have to worry about anything that's done in the dark. Because when the sun comes out, anything done in the dark will come to the light. But I feel like what this is really representing is the energy. The energy is of the light. So I feel the more you trust your own intuition as this starts to move towards you and you towards them, you know, remember that. Remember that the light is, you know, here, like your favor. It's coming under memories of love. And it's interesting because I feel like the sun is also very playful type energy. And I'm allowing myself to be playful. It's coming under memories of love. And then we have moving on. And I have to tell you, I'm so happy to see this because, yes, you could be moving on from a certain situation. You got to go back one card to understand what we're moving on from. And that's some type of toxicity. I feel like right now, it feels like it's more in the thought system than anywhere. So I feel like what you're finding is let's just say mental clarity. I feel like you're not allowing fear. Doesn't mean that you won't ever have any fear. I feel like the Two of Swords is like natural. You know, like I meet someone and they're like, you know, let's just say when you meet this person, there will definitely be something different. There will definitely be like you will have butterflies. It doesn't mean it has to move immediately because who knows? Maybe you won't want it to move like immediately. I feel like it has the ability, um, but I definitely feel like this is one's thought systems. And it's interesting because it's also mirroring the high priestess. And it's mirroring the Three of Pentacles over here. I feel like you have to allow yourself to fall in love. And I get a feeling that a lot of you that are here right now, that's scary. Some of you have already met this person, I feel. And this may be clarity for you. Like you might already met them and you felt like, there's just something different. Well, there is something different. Your soul connected. You've lived lifetimes together before. This is not the only lifetime. Not that you've lived every lifetime together, but these two lifetimes are connecting. There's a reason for that. Again, the wisdom of that past lifetime is with you in this lifetime. That Nine of Swords, I feel like number one, trust within your abilities because there may be maybe again, maybe you feel like you have certain gifts, um, but you just never brought them to the world, though I feel like, but I want to. Then I feel like trust in yourself and know that your spiritual team is going to help guide you also. Be who you really are. And it may take time and it may take work. It may take even you watching, like, I don't know, other videos where, like, what I would say when you're watching any tarot readings, definitely trust your own intuition because I feel like your intuition is definitely going to guide you. I definitely feel like I was meant to tell you that. All right, I want to see what's on the bottom. This, oh my gosh. Hello, spiritual union. Wow. Two of Cups. Except it doesn't say the Two of Cups. It says spiritual union. Look at all this spirituality of this past life. It has followed you. This love has also followed you. Spiritual union makes sense when we also have the Four of Wands, because that is about two people coming together for a lifetime. Now, there is free will, so I don't think anybody can 100% guarantee you, but I don't feel nervous about this at all. Matter of fact, I feel like I'm doing this reading because this is probably going to happen sooner versus later. And I'm just helping you to get ready. I want to remind you one more time that the Emperor and the Empress showed up with judgment connecting the two of them. Do I feel like that is a major sign? I do. And I even want to thank your spiritual team and our spiritual teams because I feel clarity. Positive movement forward. Didn't want to pick up. But I do want to look right under the soulmates, material and spiritual prosperity. Look at that. There's my Emperor and Empress. I feel like it's the girl or the woman who the spotlight's on more. But I do feel like the man, or the emperor, let's say, has the same gifts, but there seems to be, like, I feel like the woman, it feels like she was meant to take like this center stage. But I could see them working together. Boy, that reminds me of another reading. Whose reading was it? I think it was Capricorn's. Soulmates and business partners. Well, nobody makes better business partners than the Emperor and the Empress. All right, let's bring out, make some room. Let's bring out the Gilded Tarot. Let's see, Angels. Angels didn't want to get picked up. Angels. Yeah, I'm not trying to promote my videos, I swear to God. But I literally just got done yesterday. I did um, a reading connecting to our spiritual team. And so I feel like angels are perfect. All right. We're going to bring in the Gilded Tarot. I don't know that I'm going to clarify each card. We'll play it by ear. Probably will. But let's just go ahead. We're going to start at our past life first. But we are reading it as a whole. So, wisdom. We have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Action. Look at her lighting that flame. It's almost like she's calling in her flame. It's like symbolic. But this is the Queen of Action. This is someone who moves according to her desires, her passions. This is someone who trusts within her own abilities. Fear isn't really a part of whether I move forward with something or not. I do feel she's very psychic. Could certainly be a fire sign, of course. But I feel this is more about the person. All right, we have the Page of Cups over Scribe or Writer. Eight of Swords over the Orphan. Almost like she's behind bars. The Page of Pentacles over the High Priest or High Priestess. And then we have Justice. Okay. Excuse me. I don't know. Like this, or the girl. Let's just call her the little girl. This Eight of Swords. I feel like she has no fear. I feel she's fearless. So I feel like, because the Eight of Swords is really that energy of like trapped in fear. Similar to that Nine of Swords. But I feel like this is more limit, like she's been limited. You know what I mean? Like I feel that she wasn't free to roam. Interesting. I'm seeing these two pages. Page of Cups and a Page of Pentacles. Boy, do I kind of feel like they are the younger versions or the previous versions of the Emperor and the Empress. Interesting, because I feel like we have both the High Priest and the High Priestess. And that is the Emperor and the Empress. I feel like someone eventually made their living this way. And then you have justice. So justice is about balance, can certainly be about cutting ties. I really don't see a lot that, ties that need to be cut of a past lifetime. If anything, it was just more about learning from the experiences I went through. But I feel like the experiences is what made someone very empathetic and compassionate, caring very much about their fellow man and woman and animals. Now, you don't all have to have this passion for animals, but there is definitely someone. So, justice is about making you whole again. I feel like another little clue may be I feel like there was a lot of lack in a previous life. Not you, like you weren't lacking, but I feel like food was lacking, money was lacking. But I still feel like you trusted within yourself, your abilities, and because like I don't feel sad. I don't feel like why me type energy. Quite the opposite. Almost like this little girl knows that I had to go through these experiences and helping others is what helps my soul. So I don't feel like she's anyone who's like feeling sorry for herself, even though she's got lots of reasons to feel sorry for herself. I don't feel any of that. I feel, if anything, she was kind of held back a little bit. But I feel like by other people. Interesting, because I'm wondering also, okay, so I feel like this man and woman, well, I feel like they were younger, let's say teenagers at this point, maybe even early 20s, um, is when they started to fall in love. I feel like the respect had always been there. Um, like someone who, when they watched you do your thing, they were truly admiring you. But I have a feeling you probably did the same. I feel like someone broke up a relationship, but I don't feel like it was a serious like I don't feel like it was a serious relationship. And I kind of feel like it was the man who was with someone else. But again, it doesn't really feel serious. And then there's you. There's you. So I feel like the other person kind of got the axe, so to speak. But don't feel sorry for them because that gave them the opportunity to go find their true love. I do feel like this is true love. I mean, it is true love. I also feel like let me put it this way. I feel like there could have also been another lifetime where I feel like you had a lot of money. You were very well off. And it may have been quite an easy lifetime because I feel like your soul, before it came into this previous lifetime said, give me some difficult lessons. When I think of the Emperor and the Empress, I often feel like they can say no to reincarnating again. Why? Because I feel like they've really extracted so much wisdom of living life, living on Earth. Like I have two Earth angels here almost. Look at this. Your intuition over love life. This is what I was feeling. Like I'm feeling it. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? Who lives in that home? Why do I keep driving by it? I'll tell you why. If you look at this, by the way, look at the doggy. It's almost like there is your animal from a previous life. But this is really represent your spiritual team. Like they'll take whatever form. This house, it's your house. Or the other way around. Like someone drives by it or walks by it. He's got the cloak of the hermit on. Let's not forget we have spiritual union and we have the marriage card in this lifetime. This is really about trusting your intuition as it relates to your love life, but also your gifts. But it's coming over your love life. And again, there's those dreams, right? It's like your spiritual team is using whatever they can almost to help get you ready. Why do they have to help get me ready? Well, because there's some swords down here. There's some worry down here. And one doesn't really mix with the other. So we have to deal with this first. And you do. You do. I would say this is a time. I always feel like you should follow your intuition, but I definitely feel like this is a time to truly trust that intuition. Like, try to let go of the fear. Let's say that you have no interest in love. That's all right. Again, I don't feel like there's anyone looking. You could be looking, but I feel like, and I feel like I don't have to look. It just feels like divine timing, to be honest. 3 of Swords. Huh. Excuse me. Oh, okay. So I feel like in this previous life that these two loves come together. I do feel like the man, and by the way, you could have been the man if you're a woman in this lifetime, um, but anyways, I feel like, I don't feel like it was your heart that was broken. I feel like someone else's heart was broken, but it's almost like, in a way, a little bit of jealousy. But I understand it, right? It's like how can you love her so deeply when you didn't show me a quarter of what you show her? Well, there's something different. And I feel like, all of a sudden I feel like this woman who was scorned tries to hurt this man's true love. This is not something that just went away because this other woman's heart was broken. I don't feel anybody here is that woman. Um, but I feel like she made you, if you're the woman here, pay the price. Um, Almost like, it's interesting because I didn't feel like it was a little girl who was carrying the energy of the Eight of Swords, which is a self created prison. I almost feel like she was put behind bars, but I feel because of something false, because of someone else's jealousy. Now, I don't feel like it was for long, but man, did that put an end to that other woman ever. Like, that man would never speak to that woman again. She just doesn't know what she's done. She doesn't know how she's hurt him. But listen, she's doing it because he hurt her. But that won't come in between these two loves. You know what I mean? Yes, it's going to add more challenges and obstacles, but nothing that they won't be able to overcome. They will overcome it. Um, and the other woman, eventually she'll find her person, and that anger will go away. Some of you could be in a similar situation now, where there could be three. Um, Though I do want to say though, I feel like this energy is of the light. So I don't feel like this would be anyone who'd be like married to someone else currently. I mean, they could be divorcing, separating, but it may even be the same type of situation. Like, here this man is with someone else, and then you come into their life, and it's like immediately there's this knowing. So, again, they have to cut someone out of their life. And I'm hoping that the person they're cutting out isn't going to cause you any problems. I don't see it. By the way, that Eight of Swords is mirrored by the sun. So if I was, let's just say, falsely imprisoned, and we do have imprisonment, okay, that could be why. So if I was falsely accused of something, the truth comes out. And, if I was taken away, I'm then released. So I feel like the truth comes out. Not only in a previous lifetime, but also in this lifetime for whatever it's needed for. We'll see. All right, keep going. Interesting how I said, I don't think I'm going to clarify every card. And then I do. But it's definitely making the picture clearer and clearer. The Four of Swords, look at that. Healing. Healing. First of all, I feel like it is representing that other woman. Because I feel like, um, honestly, what I'm feeling is the man and woman who are truly in love here, I feel like the woman understands this other woman's plight. And because she comes from such a beautiful type energy, she doesn't come from like, oh, I'm going to make you pay now. Quite the opposite. It's like she understands it and she moves on. It's like she's forgiving. And, you know, listen, if we're the high priestess or the priestess, then we know forgiveness is part of the journey. But this is about healing. Some of you right now may be really learning more and more about your spirituality, about your gifts. Again, the energy of the natural healer. And it may even be like how you make your money, how you make a living. But it can also be a side hustle. Two of Wands over the Two of Swords. Okay, I'll take that. It's someone making that realization that I can't let fear of things that have happened in the past stop me from the potential of what can be next. You are feeling something. And again, some of you are dreaming. Your spiritual team is making sure it's almost like they are opening your heart chakra before this even becomes available. It's like your spiritual team wants to make sure that you're more willing to say yes than no. Because I feel like this might be a no, but this would definitely be a yes. And I'm just stepping upon the path. By the way, right now, this Two of Wands is mirroring the Queen of Wands. So I feel like what this is saying is go with your passion, flow with what makes you feel passionate. I feel like you cannot go wrong if you're following that energy. And let's not forget, we're ultimately going to end up in this spiritual union. And I feel like that's why I'm probably doing this reading. Because your spiritual team just wants you to understand the sun again will illuminate this worry. And remember that Nine of Swords is unnecessary worry. Here's the healing available, not just in a past lifetime, but forever and forevermore. I also love this four. Again, healing from your previous life, and then it's moving into this current lifetime with another four. But this is the marriage card. So you see again how both the Emperor and the Empress seem to be healers. By the way, you could sell cars, but just the way you speak, just your energy alone may help others. Sometimes we help and we don't even know it. All right, let's keep going. Hello, Ace of Cups. Unconditional love. Look at the phases of the moon above it. It's like my poster over there. But you can't see it right now. My poster. I knew there was something with the moon. I feel like, look at her eye. It's like keep your eyes open around the full moon. I feel like it's talking about Virgo's full moon. I feel like that's why the Hermit came out. But I also love that this is coming right under Love Life. And this does represent unconditional love. Connected right to your intuition. This is the path you're stepping on. This is exciting. Here we go. Coming over wisdom. Wisdom. I'm only saying that because I want you to see the connections. Because that's the Three of Pentacles again. Right over the Six of Cups. Again, your individuality. But now over the Six of Cups, it is both. Like each one admiring the other. And it is because of, I want to say what they do, but let's just say who they are. Who they are. And I mean that as in, like, they feel loving. They feel wise. They feel very much like you. We have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, interesting. Because Nine of Wands, again, anytime you see nine, it is about reflection. It is about final reflection. Nine of Wands, though, is really about looking back and understanding the growth that you've had in your own life, the things that you've overcome that maybe while you were in them, you never thought you could. I definitely feel like someone hasn't had it easy in love. Um, and, that makes it harder to make a decision. But yet, at the same time, in the Nine of Wands, I call this person my spirit warrior. And I would definitely call that little girl of a past lifetime a spirit warrior, for sure. I feel like it's also helping you to remember each other. I feel like the lessons you've learned, let's just say in this lifetime, have really taught you well. I feel like the only thing that we have to fear, if we want to use the word fear, would be that Nine of Swords. So it's almost like two different perspectives, two ways of looking at my life. And I feel like love has got a big part of it. I also want to say, be careful that these previous relationships that you had that didn't work out, sometimes they just weren't meant to work out because your spiritual team is guiding the emperor and the empress. So maybe I can look back and be like, okay, so this is a whole different level of love. So maybe the day will come where when I look back, I'm not looking back with anger or regret or no, I have a feeling you won't be looking back any further once the two of you come together. Now, I do feel like your past life might come into a conversation, but I don't feel like a past love holds the weight that it used to hold. It's kind of like how I feel like this man in the past life let go of this woman so he could be with you. But it wasn't because he, is a cheater. It's none of that. It's because it was an instant recognition. And he probably held off for a while. Again, I feel that energy of admiring you, but maybe not speaking that right away. So I could see in this lifetime it could be reversed, where maybe the woman has to now let go. Why you gotta mess all my cards up? Okay. Ace of Pentacles over the Three of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles means that this is coming into your physical world. That's what the Ace of Pentacles represents. By the way, just in your current lifetime, you have two aces already. Two beautiful aces. First is the Ace of Cups, connected to your intuition, but also connecting to the past life. So it's, again, like your spiritual team. And it's probably because of the swords. It's like they're going to allow you to feel it first. And I feel like if there's anyone that I thought I wanted when I meet this person, again, that goes away. But I love how this is saying that it's coming into your physical world, which, of course, it is, because otherwise we wouldn't have spiritual union. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the marriage card. Hello, Three of Cups. Rejoice in celebration. Instead of worry, this is joy. And then the beautiful Chariot. Well, let me tell you about the Chariot. What does the Chariot need to really be all that it can be? It needs balance. It needs balance of the feminine and the masculine. Now, within ourselves, but something is also telling me, I do feel some of this, for some of you, this is a twin flame relationship. Because I do feel that, like, balance of the divine feminine and divine masculine. I don't feel like that for everyone, but it is definitely soulmate energy. So anyways, you need the balance of the feminine and the masculine within ourselves, the light and the dark. Really means knowing oneself. You know, like know that fear-based part of yourself. Give it a name, right? Because when we learn to live in balance with the light and the dark, because that's what we are, then the Chariot really becomes unlimited potential. The Chariot is moved by your intentions. You tell the Chariot where to go through your intentions. I love that it's coming over the sun. I just love it. Also, card of Cancer, by the way. And I want to say, if we even look at what's mirroring the Chariot and the sun, it's the Eight of Swords and that little girl. So I do feel like, well, when I say little girl, I feel like she's a woman at this point, where I feel like something like took her away from the man. It's like she was falsely accused of something. But I feel like very quickly the truth came out, and the two, the Emperor and the Empress, came back together. We have the King of Swords. Could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. To me, the King of Swords, well, I mean, he is coming over, moving on. So for some of you, this could be someone you're moving on from. So the King of Swords normally is someone who I feel like is a communicator, but they can use their words as weapons as at the same time. We have the Magician, and then look at this. We have the Fool. A new beginning, a leap of faith with the Magician. The Fool's first mentor, by the way, along this new journey. We know it's a new journey. because we have the Two of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. So this Ace of Pentacles means now it's coming in, and now it's up to you to take that leap of faith. But I feel like the Magician reminds the Fool that you really possess everything that you need to be successful on this next path, on this new journey. And by the way, just look at the Magician. Look at that 8, number of infinity. As above, so below, no beginning, no end. Makes complete sense. Here we go. I mean, here we go. You're going to feel it. You may dream about it. You know, there's definitely a psychic connection here. And I feel that, okay, so I feel like our spiritual teams, I feel like some of them are working on helping someone to overcome fear. So it doesn't interrupt, let's say, your blessings. And I feel like that's what one guide is working on, you know, with one of these levers. And I don't know, I don't really feel like the other one doesn't feel like they need. I just feel like they're ready. I feel like this is someone who is definitely ready to settle down. Kind of love the Magician coming over the Six of Swords, because that means that that toxic energy, you're leaving in the past. Six of Swords temporarily is difficult energy. You know, it's just getting through those choppy waters, but it's really the promise of a beautiful new day, a beautiful beach, nice calm waters. So you're going to feel it, and then it's going to enter. And not only is it going to enter, but we know that it can go into this spiritual union. We know that it can turn into a marriage. That's where free will comes in. Okay. 10 of Wands on the bottom of this deck, which I don't really look at very often. 10 of Wands could definitely signify a period of time where, you know, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. All right, so I'm just going right in the middle. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Flirt. I feel like that's like have fun. Look at this. True love. Well, I knew that. This is a romance of a lifetime. This was a romance of a lifetime back here, too. And that's why no one else could really come in between them. No one else could come in between them. Once they came together, they were together. And we had that same, I was going to say luck, but I don't feel like it has anything to do with luck. See if anything else wants to come out. Look at this. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Well, yes, you did. Yes, you do. Not only could this be the one, but it's representing that this is your true love. And this really is a romance of a lifetime. I feel like because we're starting at a 2 and flirt just means allow yourself to be in this this playful energy. That's kind of what the sun represents too. Playfulness, flirt, have fun. You know each other. You just don't know that you know each other yet. Now, I'm talking for those who haven't come across this yet. Some of you, you may be like on your way. But what I do want to really represent here is this definitely makes me feel, I shouldn't say makes me feel, this is definitely telling me that this is this year. And something is telling me that the full moon has or plays a part in it. You know, it's interesting because Venus is in retrograde, and Venus can bring back old lovers when it's in retrograde. I feel like I have nothing left to say. Um, what a reading. You know, this is one of my favorite readings to do. It truly is. And, you know, it does take time for it to reveal the whole story, but I feel like the whole story has been revealed. I'm sure there's little pieces that, well, that's where your intuition comes in. But my God, look at this. Like, hello and amen. Spiritual union, this lifetime, marriage, true love, and you already know each other. Now, this is a regular reading and not a past life reading. I would say you might have met in this lifetime, and you might have crossed paths already. But you have definitely lived in past lives together. This is why I feel it's being called a spiritual union versus just soulmates. This is why it's representing true love, not pretend love. This is a high vibrational love. And it's coming. And it's unconditional. And it's real love. Okay. I'm just going to let that be, guys. Um, I thank you, number one, for just allowing me to do these readings. I know these readings aren't everyone's cup of tea. And I do want to thank you for those who share my videos on your um, social media platforms. That really helps a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, you don't have to. Some people, you know, may not want to share it. Um, you know, maybe you don't want other people to know you watch tarot, whatever it may be. That's okay, you know. But for those who do share, thank you. I thank everyone just for being here. I really hope you found yourself in this reading. And my prayer is that it is for you and that your spirit team lets you know that. You know, I hope you found confirmation in this reading. But I feel like really this is about getting ready. Here I come. You can't hide. I love you guys. I am going to do a twin flame reading after this. And I am going to do both the divine masculine and divine feminine. And I do it kind of like conversation. So they'll both be like current energy of the divine masculine, current energy of the divine feminine, and then what connects them. I want to really do it now because I want to see what comes up in that reading compared to this reading. And this is why I did this reading first, because I wanted to see. And interesting how I said I even felt twins. I felt twin flames in this reading. So, and I just put out a short of my last twin flame. I did that on purpose. I know some of you have seen it before. Um, yeah, I did it on purpose because, well, I really want you to find yourself within the readings. But anyways, true love, potential marriage, you know, this is something that is meant to last for the rest of your life and definitely has the potential. Just go with the flow, be playful, like allow yourself to be a little flirty. Kind of reminds me of the feminine's energy, but it could be masculine also. I mean, both can flirt. And I just feel like, when you, let's just say, meet and have an actual conversation, it's just going to reveal itself to you. Like, you're just going to know. Like, I trust that you're just going to know. Okay. I don't know why I'm still talking. Oh, I love you guys. I thank you. I cannot wait to read your comments. Um, and once I'm done with the twin flame reading, I will link it to the on the end screens to the end of this reading because I do feel like we're going to see some synchronicities. It's like I can't wait to do it. So I'm going to do it. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.